I'm trying to think what happened in my life. What happened? I'm just trying to think where it all went wrong. I think the baby days we can skip that because I don't even fucking remember. I guess the first thing I remember, the first eventful thing in my life, I guess, would be when I was around 6 or 7 years old. I'm doing stick figures, chat, because that's my drawing capacity. I'm also doing this with my right hand and I'm left-handed. Also, when I was younger, do you guys know I had blonde hair? Like naturally blonde hair. Very light hair. So first thing I remember when I was 7 years old is my dad enrolled me into Taekwondo. It was like my first sport. Actually, we did karate for like a month. And then my dad was like, nah, fuck that shit. We're going to Taekwondo. So my dad enrolled me and my brother in Taekwondo when we were young, old enough to be enrolled. And my brother was 9 years old. He was like, compared to me, he's like this tall back then. Now we're the same height, but back then, this was my brother. Okay, we went to Taekwondo, and we were pretty talented at Taekwondo because what our dad has been doing to us ever since we were like babies is he's been making us do like splits and stuff and stretching and stuff. So we were always very flexible since we were young kids. So when we enrolled in Taekwondo, we could already like do, we could do the kicks, the high kicks and all the stuff like pretty easily because we were, pretty flexible, right? We enrolled in Taekwondo about at the same time that I started going to elementary school. And my elementary school was this like 2 floors, but it only had like 2 classrooms, right? And it was like straight up, it looked like this. I'm not kidding. There was a window right here. The stairs were here. The door was like right here. This was the window. And this, you would enter and go up the stairs, and this is where the classroom was, right? It was a small, fucked up house that was falling apart, right? This was my elementary school for 4 years, right? This thing was falling apart. So after 4 years, they took us out of this. I'm still doing Taekwondo during those 4 years, of course. I think at this point I'm like blue belt or some shit. Anyway, after 4 years, this thing falls apart completely, and they like discontinue it, right? And then we moved to the real school, which was like a massive school. I don't know if I can draw it. It was like this big. It had so many classrooms. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like a square building. This was like the upper floor. It was like 1 million windows. Like actually 1 million windows. It was massive. It has like a massive door like this.
Happy
like
chaos.
Double
Smile.
door on the entrance. And then there was a massive gym right here. And I have to delete this real quick. Because this school had its own like gym. So this school had its own like, there's like a connection. So there's like a little bridge you would take on the 2nd floor. And this bridge led to like a massive fucking gym, right? Massive gym with a basketball course and everything. And funny part is this same like massive like gym was where I took my Taekwondo lessons. So it was like this. So sometimes we would do Taekwondo twice a day because there was this gym, right, in the morning, and then in the evening there was another gym that was like for more like advanced people or whatever, or whoever wants to. Anyway, that was my elementary school. In elementary school I was a straight A student because I mean it was just fucking easy, right? Okay, so now elementary school for us is 8 years long, which is about until you're like 14, about there, 14, 15. When I was about 14, 15, I enrolled in a high school, and at this point I am a lot bigger, obviously, and my hair is no longer blonde. I am dark brown, right? Um, I enrolled in the same school as my brother. My brother went to a gymnasium, and I went to a gymnasium, and we both chose the same path, which was the science math path, which is the hardest one to get into. But we had the grades. We had the grades to get into the science fucking gymnasium. So we did, and we fucking hated the hell out of it. This is where I met my best friend. Let's call him Joseph. Okay, this is where I met Joseph. That's what we're gonna call him. And you know, the first year was chill. The first like few months were chill, right? Like I'm a Joseph. We're best friends. He plays the guitar, I play the guitar. We like the same music. We start hanging out. I started sleeping over at his place. He started sleeping over at my place. Yeah, we just became good friends, right? And then we started going out. Like, this is where everything goes wrong, chat. This is the #1 problem of how we ruined our grades. When I first came into the science school, it was pretty fucking easy because I followed the lessons, right? But after a couple months, we all got comfortable with each other, and we started going out about every Saturday. House parties, this parties, block parties. It started with birthdays, right? And we started getting drunk almost every Saturday, and we started, you know, smoking the devil's lettuce. You know how it is when you're young, you're trying shit out, you know. It is how it is, right? And well, let's just say, even though we were the smartest class in the school, quote unquote, we were also the most stupidest class in the world. It was kind of a bit of both. So we started going out like crazy, spending all our time outside. So it came to the point where we stopped giving a fuck about school, at least me and Joseph. But currently we're talking about year one. Year one. So in year one, everyone got to know each other better, and we started going out and we started doing dumb shit. This is the year where our grades were still, you know, decent grades. We still had decent grades. We did a good, you know, a relatively good job until the summer came. The first year passed, we had a decent grades, and then the year one summer was probably the craziest summer of my life. Okay, this is like where I pretty much spent every day with Joseph, and we just partied a lot. I remember he was always bragging how much girls he fucking that was always funny to me, because like I never gave a fuck, but he always bragged with how much girls he like hooked up during the summer. I remember there's a number in the 20s one summer. And just so you guys know, he is a good looking dude, but also we're a tourist town, okay? There's a bunch of tourist girls that just like don't care, you know? They just show up and they don't care. Yeah, I never really gave a fuck. I was always more of a relationship type person, while he was more of a hookup type person. And my first relationship actually happened in year one. My first like first I had a somewhat of a relationship in grade school. I mean elementary school, a couple of them, but like those were like kind of childish. This is where my first relationship happened, year one, when I was 15. So when my first kiss happened, right? That didn't last long, obviously, but a couple months. Blah, blah, blah. But I was always more focused on that, while he was more focused on the hookups. Year two. To breathe, but that's alright. Hush.